Good evening. Hey, how you doing? Sorry about that little buffering that was going on. I don't know why, but every time I leave my neighborhood, when I go in front of a particular house, my Wi-Fi, not my Wi-Fi, but my data goes off. So I don't know what's that about, but anywho, how's everybody doing? Oh, hold on. Let me see. What you say, Mark? Let me read it. You said sorry about the other day. I was just tired of them. Oh, okay. It's cool. It is cool, Mark. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the traffic so I can turn. But yeah, it's cool. It's okay. I mean, one thing for certain, two things for sure. Um, when I go to somebody live or video, if they talking about something I don't want to hear or watch or not interested in, we have free will. God gave us free will to watch whatever videos we like to watch. But yeah, and actually, if you would have watched the entire video, you would have knew that I wasn't focused on the drama at hand. I was more focused on them making up, which is the same thing Miss Gina was talking about on the live that we were both on. I don't know if it was this morning or last night, but yeah, that's what I was speaking about during that live. But it's cool, no hard feelings. But how many of you guys like doing tag videos? I know I think so far I've done 2 tag videos. And thank you, Mark. And I done told y'all about these potholes here in Omaha, Nebraska. We got 2 and 3 bedroom apartment potholes all around this city because of the harsh snow and the harsh winter we had, and then all of it melting and the streets tearing up and got to be repaved. But anywho, I've done a few tags on my channel, and this tag that I'm doing tonight that I would like you guys to do as well. And after I do my live, I'm going to upload all the questions that you're supposed to answer. Or if I don't do it before I get back home and you want to do your live before I get back home, if you want to just replay the video or write down the questions while I'm talking, you can do your own video. But it's called the small YouTubers tag. And basically it's just some simple questions, about yourself. Nothing too personal, because if it was too personal, I wouldn't be doing it. But, nothing too personal. But the first question on the tag is, where was I born? And I was born in the good old city of Omaha, in the good old Midwest lands of Nebraska. That's where I was born. And thanks for hitting those likes, you guys. Please hit the likes when you come in the video. Thank you very much. So the first question was, where was I born? And that was in Omaha, Nebraska. Where do you live now, or do you still live there? That's the second question. I still do. I'm still here in Omaha, Nebraska. Let's see. What artist do I remember my parents listening to when I was growing up? And I am going to have to say, I know I mentioned it before several times. I grew up in a very religious household, so we didn't listen to worldly, as they call it, or secular music. But I gotta show you my sport. Thank you, I appreciate it. And I like watching your videos too, of your travel videos. Thank you so much. But I grew up in a very religious household, so we didn't really, if I listened to any music, my mother in the church called it secular music. or they called it worldly music. So if I listened to any worldly music, it was when I was away from home, out of my parents' sight. But as far as in the household, I can remember my mother, of course, listening to gospel music. Like I remember Saturday mornings, I think it was WK. Oh God, what was the name of that radio station? I can't remember the radio station, but it was every Saturday morning, and she would turn on the big floor radio stereo player. Oh, I think somebody got shot over here. It's like 15, I swear to God, 15 cops and a helicopter above my head. I think, oh God, I hope they survive, but I do think it's a shooting. But yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of Shirley Caesar and a lot of the Wynand brothers. Yeah, Shirley Caesar, the Winans. A lot of religious groups. That's what I grew up listening to at home. Now, when I was away from home, again, that's a different story. But let's see. The next question was my first car. My first car that I owned was a small little light blue Omni. Now that I look back at it, that was a pretty ugly car. That was a pretty ugly car, but I loved it. It was my high school car. It lasted for a little while. You know, it was cheap. It was an ugly little car, but it was mine. But that was my first car. And next question is my dream car. Now, my dream car has changed over time, but what I have always wanted was a brand new, totally tricked out Range Rover. That's my dream car. I don't know why, but I don't know. I think it's from like the old gangster movies and stuff. It seemed like all the coolest people had Range Rovers and stuff. But that's what I want. I want it to be black. But my favorite movie as a child growing up, I think it would have to be, I'm gonna do a comedy and I'm gonna do a not so comedy. But as far as the comedy, I'm gonna have to say Goosebumps. That was like, I could watch that movie over and over and over and over again and still crack up like it's the first time I seen it. My second favorite movie growing up was Lean on Me. Mr. Clock. Hey, Mr. Clock. That was my next favorite movie. Let's see. Favorite candy. Oh, it says, is that still my favorite movies growing up? Yes, those are still two of my favorite movies growing up, so that's a yes. Favorite candy growing up. I'm going to have to say Chico Sticks. I used to love me some Chico Sticks. I don't know if you know what those are, but they're long, skinny, crispy, like a wafer kind of, but it tastes like a Butterfinger. It tastes like a Butterfinger. It was so good. And my parents, if they gave me $1, I would go to the store and I would buy $1 worth of Chico Sticks, and they were like 10 cents each. So I would buy 10 Chico Sticks and I would walk back home. But that was my favorite candy growing up. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing none. What was your favorite cartoon? Now I have several. I can't say my favorite was just one cartoon. I have many cartoons favorites. One of them, Tom and Jerry. Everybody loved Tom and Jerry. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was another one. Transformers was another one. Fat Albert was another one. I have so many faves as cartoons. I can literally go on and on and on and on. Did you attend? The last question is, did you attend public school or private school? I actually attended both. For grade school, like up until 6th grade, I attended public school. And then for a couple of years, I attended this private Christian school. And then because I was a knucklehead, hardhead, as much as my mom tried to keep me in that school, to keep me out the streets and whoop, 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 I got put out. Hey, Megs. Hi, Pine. But, yeah, I got put out. So I went to private school for a couple of years. That wasn't really working out for me. It was crazy. It was crazy, y'all. I think I told this story before, but my mother was approached by this principal and her husband who came to our church when I was like in, I don't know, 6th grade, something like that. And we had a lot of people in our church who was from the hood, like from the projects. We called them the bricks, but you know, from the projects, same thing, or low income housing, you know, stuff like that. A lot of parents on welfare, food stamps, you know, stuff like that. And hey, how you doing? Is that Jim Gaming with? Yes, hey, how you doing? But yeah, so they had came to our church and was recruiting. So all the parents of all like the kids in the hood, you know, and low income housing projects, you know, whatnot, and we was part of that low income housing growing up. They recruited all of us, like all of us. And so we all just imagine a Christian school full of kids who we hardly even wanted to go to church in the first place. Most of our parents drug us to church in the first place. And if we wasn't at church, we was out in the streets doing something we weren't supposed to be doing. So they put us all in this school. It was a lot of us. I mean, it was probably like 50 or 60 of us they threw in this school at one time. When we got to the school, everybody there, they was all bougie. I mean, they was dressed up all cute. And I mean, it was like it was crazy. It was something I never seen before. And they kept trying to make me wear their little skirts and and I would always wear jeans underneath or shorts because I was a tomboy, and I used to get in trouble all the time. And then they would spank us. They had paddles, and it was a private school, so they could do that. They had paddles, and they would be like, okay, do you want to get a paddle? Or do you want to get in-house suspension? And in-house suspension was almost as worse. You would probably want to do the paddle because we would like, if we did in-house suspension, what they would do, they would make you, and you have to write every scripture starting from Genesis 1 verse 1. And you was in-house for a week. So you have to write from Genesis 1 verse 1 all the way through. And when I say, if anybody knows the Old Testament, you know how sometimes they have in parentheses how to pronounce certain people's names, because a lot of them names are like, you're like, what? How the hell you say Benai Cat? I mean, so we would have to write it, do the parentheses, everything that was in that scripture, we had to rewrite on paper. So when I used to tell people I know the Bible inside out, I mean, seriously, I knew the Bible inside out. And not only did we have to do that when we were in trouble, my mother was so religious, we had to read the Bible when we got home from school for an hour as well, when we got home from school. And that was whether we went to regular school or that Christian school. That was just something we always did for years. We had to read the Bible for an hour after school. And then she would drill us to make sure we read it and would quiz us on what we read. So, anywho, that explains to you how religious my mother was when we was growing up. But anywho, that was the last question. Did I attend public or private school? Yes, I attended public till 6th grade. Then I went to private school. And then after I got kicked out, then I went back to public school for high school and graduated. So that is my small YouTuber tag. And again, I am going to type in the questions. Once this video loads and everything, I'm going to type in the questions in the description. So some of you smaller YouTubers, if y'all feel like doing a tag, y'all can upload a video. You don't have to go live if you don't want to. Most people don't go live when they do a tag because they just like to get through the questions and be done with it. But I don't care. I do it live. I'll upload it. It don't matter to me. I like going live. So that is my small YouTuber tag, y'all. Now I'm about to get some money out this bank and go to the store and get a few things and head back to the house so I can chillax and check some of y'all out on YouTube, like I've been doing for like the last, I don't know, 3-4 days. I just been watching other people YouTube while, while I can, supporting other channels and giving people views and watch hours. But anyway, you guys, that is the end of my tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you learned a little bit of information about Tanya Primetime TV. And in the meantime and in between time, Primetime Squad, stay safe, be blessed, and I'm out. Deuces.